The deck I want to share with you today has been around for about 3 years. It's really, really popular. There's loads of walkthroughs and reviews and flip throughs and unboxings and everything else, every other type of video you can think of for this deck already. But this deck has been on my wish list for such a long time. I'm really excited to have it in my collection now. And so I'm hoping you'll kind of indulge me and just let me make this video, because it's something that I'm really excited about being able to finally do. Obviously, I'm talking about the Next World Tarot by Christy C. Rode. Came out in 2017. Originally, it was an indie deck, but it now is being sold in a lot of mass marketplaces like Amazon. It's been on my wish list for a really long time, and a friend bought me it for my birthday. So I'm going to do the same, I think, as I did for the Shadowland Tarot, which, if you want to check out, is the video that came out before this one. Flip through the cards. I won't talk too much, but if I do have anything to say, I'll just point that out. And then I'll talk a bit about the guidebook and the box and about the cards stock, that kind of thing. So let's jump straight in. One thing worth noting about this deck straight away is that the cards are big. I mean, I have normal size hands, I would say, but they're, whatever that means, for somebody who's 5'8", my hands are pretty normal size. They are big cards. I think they need to be big cards because they've got so much going on. They're really diverse, which I love. Some of the names have been changed, which I'll point out as we go through. And for the majors, you have an element, a zodiac, and a planet on each card. So this is the first of our name changes. Instead of the Emperor, we have the Teacher, which at first I was like, surely that's the Hierophant. But, you know, I kind of get it. I do get it. And then for the Hierophant, we've actually got the Messenger, which makes sense. And when I saw the Messenger, I understood why we went with the Teacher for the Emperor. This is probably one of my favourite Lovers cards of all time. I love this card. This is one of the cards that I saw that was like, I need to have this deck in my life. I love the elephants. And there's another name change. So instead of this Hanged Man, we have Suspension. So much going on in this Devil card. I love that the loan shark is actually a shark with money in his mouth, a dollar sign in his mouth. Instead of the Tower, we have Revolution, which 100% makes so much sense to me. I totally get that. I love all the butterflies in the star. So then we get into the minors, starting with the wands. So we have the Ace of Wands is the roots of fire. And then each of the minors have a keyword and a zodiac sign in a planet, sorry, in a zodiac sign. So this one is Dominion and Mars in Aries. I've had other decks that have had these keywords and I found them difficult to work with because I found that they kind of put me into boxes with each card that I then struggled to break out of. But I think it's so subtle and so unobtrusive. It's not the first thing that I love this card so much, that your mind is drawn to when you look at these cards. A lot of them, they have them like up here or like right in the artwork, and it's impossible not to focus on them, at least for me. Whereas these, there's kind of a choice here for me as to whether I want to pay attention to them or not. I can just choose not to. And also, I'm still really learning astrology. So at the moment, the astrology isn't too much of a box for me either, really. So then we have the Page of Wands, which is the home of fire. The Knight of Wands is the fire starter. Queen of Wands is the throne of determination. And the King of Wands is the throne of fire. Moving into the Pentacles, which is the roots of earth. Oh, and then the Page of Pentacles is the home of ideas. The Knight is the methodical approach. The Queen is the throne of sanctuary. And the King is the throne of security. And we have the Swords, which is the roots of action. Protection is an interesting word for Two of Swords. That's not the word that springs to mind when I see this card. For me, it's more like suspension, or, you know, something more in line with the Hanged Man or stalemate or something like that, you know. Protection is an interesting word, but I can see that with the crossed arms protecting the heart. I love that the word for the Four of Swords is respite. This card doesn't feel very relaxed to me. He looks very busy. I suppose that's an interesting comment on my version of respite and what that means to me and somebody else's. Oh, this Ten of Swords. This is a hard one. And then we have the Page is the home of action. Very Walking Dead vibe that's got. The Knight is the escape plan. The Queen, which I love, is the throne of truth. And then the King is the throne of knowledge. And then finally we have the Cup, so which is the roots of water. Love this Two of Cups. also really love this Three of Cups. There's something about this Three of Cups that really does speak of joy. I just love it. And then the Page is the home of expression. The Knight is the love song. The Queen is the throne of emotion. I love this Queen of Cups. And the King is the throne of movement. The cards are, as I say, they're quite large. One of the things that I noticed in the reviews for this deck on Amazon was about the card stock. And considering it's quite an expensive deck, I can see why people might be unhappy because the card stock is really not that sturdy at all. It's quite thin. I honestly, from the reviews, was expecting it to be a lot worse than it actually is. I was expecting it to be like paper, and it isn't. It's thin and it's bendable, and it's, you know, but I think with a really big card, you need the cardstock to be thinner. I think thicker cardstock would be very difficult to work with when you're already struggling with the size of the cards as well. So personally, I like the cardstock. I like the backs of these cards. They're not reversible. You know, you can tell when a card is upside down. I don't use reversals, so not really a problem for me, but I know it's something that some people are interested in. The box, I don't love. It's a tuck box. It's actually, when all the cards are in there, I find it really difficult to get it open when all the cards are in there. I've only had this deck a week. I've barely had these cards out, and already you're starting to see like the box is taking some serious damage. I don't think this box is going to last. I do think I'm going to have to get a bag or something to store it in, which is a shame because the box is beautiful and I love the pictures that they've chosen, the particular cards that they've chosen to go on the box, but tuck boxes are just not good for me. They just don't work. And then the guidebook itself is, for me, perfect. It's small. There's no artwork in it at all. And you have a little bit of an introduction at the beginning. Instructions to reading, so a bit about the deck, a bit about shuffling and sparking a flame, and some spreads. Literally 2 pages. 2 pages of additional info. And then the whole of the rest of the book is about the cards. Each card just has its own little, like, write-up. Some are longer than others. And it's really simple, really straightforward. Exactly what I want from a guidebook. And I'm really looking forward to using this in conjunction with the deck. So there you go. That is the Next World Tarot. As I say, hundreds of walkthroughs, hundreds of flip throughs, hundreds of reviews. Thank you very much for indulging me while I did my own. And I will see you all soon for another one. Take care, everyone, and lots of love. Bye-bye.